How can you save hours of prep work when you are preparing a talk or a presentation? I wanted to talk about this today because I feel so many STEM professionals are wasting so many hours by simply starting from scratch. And don't get me wrong, this is something I was also doing many times until I developed my protocol of how to do it in a more efficient way. Of this feeling that, okay, I will just open the blank slides, open the blank screen, and then just start somewhere, just start typing something. And the reason why this doesn't work is because first, it gives you so much pressure. There is nothing worse than staring at the blank screen for hours, knowing that you spent hours but you did zero progress. So that's one thing. And the second one is because it's very, very hard. Like, it's very, very hard to produce something from nothing. And it sort of requires this motivation of constantly having to come up with a solution that, let's face it, when we are preparing our talks, when we are doing our presentations, we do not have that. Like, we are investing all of our time and energy into our work, into developing our analysis, our experiments, our protocols, algorithms, finishing up our projects. That's where our energy is. So when it's time to prep a talk and actually explain it to others, that's something that we want to get done as fast as possible and in a most effective possible way, right? So what can one do if starting from scratch isn't the solution? Actually, you start from something. You start from already those decisions. You already make all of those decisions that are actually going to be the bottleneck once you start building your slides. So let me explain that. For example, you stare at the blank slide and then you start asking questions like, oh, should I put this as a title, or should I put this as a title, or should I put this plot, or should I put this figure, or maybe that other graph would work better in this context, and so on. So all of those questions, all of those decisions that you have to make are decisions that are costing you both time and energy. So instead of doing that at the same time when you are building your slides, my method is to do it before. So before you even start doing anything, like you don't open your PowerPoint, your Google Slides, your Canva, whatever it is that you're doing it, you do not do anything. The only thing that you do is sit and think. Who are the people who are actually going to listen to this? And what do these people care about? So you sort of start, you sort of reverse engineer the entire thing. You start thinking about them, and then you build what I call a writing plan, presentation plan. So you actually make a document in which you make all of those decisions. And I know what you might thinking, okay, but this is even more time consuming because then I have to build this document and then the other thing. But believe me, this is like your roadmap, like your plan. Imagine that when you start from scratch, you're basically as if you were going on a trip without Google Maps. Like, who would do that? Like, no one would do that because it's time consuming, stressful, energy draining, and so on. The same thing happens when you are having to prepare a presentation or a report, or maybe you're applying for funding or whatever it is. So you do not want, whatever you do, you just do not want to start from scratch, because this is super stressful and really time consuming, energy draining, and you end up hating the entire thing, procrastinating, and all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. the night before your big presentation and you still have 33 slides to go. So we don't want to be in that situation. And to not do that, we are actually required, in my opinion, to build this plan. The writing plan, presentation plan, that is your strategy where you will make all of those decisions. So you will put the title, you will put the subtitles, you will decide what are the things that have to go into the presentation. And then when time comes to build the slides or prepare a report or both things, it will simply flow, because you will only have to care about one thing, which is to design the slide, and that's it. You will not have to decide what goes where, what do I include, what do I leave out, what do these people care about. Like, all of those questions are already covered beforehand. And this is exactly what I teach STEM professionals how to do. I am deeply convinced that the best way to reduce stress, to reduce energy drain before your presentations, talks, and report is to actually build that. Whatever it is that you're doing. I used it for my PhD thesis, for example. I built a plan, my writing plan, in which I established exactly what goes where, in which chapter, which figures and everything, which made the writing process much easier, because the only thing I didn't want to do was this staring at the blank screen, not knowing where to start from. So I am convinced that this is what will save you money, what will save you time, what will save you energy, which is the most important thing here, and it will make the entire process much easier. So one of the things that I teach in my coaching program is exactly that. How do I structure, how do I learn how to turn this mess and bunch of data and results into something that makes sense to the people who I'm talking to, I'm writing to. If you're interested in this kind of coaching, so if you're an engineer, data scientist, developer, scientist, or whatever it is that you're doing in terms of STEM, and you're interested in this kind of coaching because you lose many hours to preparing your presentations, it's never quite done, you never feel it's quite ready, I want to invite you to join my coaching program, and specifically I will leave a link down below in the description where you can schedule a completely free discovery call with me, where we can discuss exactly that, like your struggles, your challenges, how are you handling the situation right now, and what you could do differently, and of course see if we are a good fit to work together. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful, and see you in a few days with another video. Bye bye.